listen, man, this is old America. And there was supposed to be a war in drugs that was never fucking won. It was just exposed, and it was a war that fucking failed miserably. And every generation has a different drug. For Lee's generation, it was to do ecstasy and jump up and down when the Jewish kids came to town.
I did a fair amount of ecstasy.
And whatever. We all had something different.
No, what?
And to some people, marijuana's included in that circle. And there's nothing you could do.
But isn't there for the next generation by doing what I'm doing? If I start this conversation now and my kids grow up thinking it's no big deal, your kids grow up thinking it's no big deal, and it falls more into, well, that's kind of like Tylenol or, and a kind of, alcohol that we don't touch, but we sort of can use recreationally and to make us feel better. Don't we change their view if we do this now?
Do what?
Like if my kid's growing up change it so it's not like hush hush hiding trying to bust my kids.
If you get in your fucking car today and you go to fucking Sunset Boulevard and make a right, they're gonna see all this shit.
No, but
they're gonna see all these fucking billboards, and eventually one day they're gonna come and ask you.
No, mine already asked me.
Right, I understand that, and I'm fucking happy for you. But one day, they're going to come and ask you, and you have to talk to them and explain to them, and it all takes time.
Right, but if you just sort of integrate it into it, like it's not a big deal.
I don't need to integrate it. That's the problem. I don't really want to integrate it. Right. There's a family. There's got to be a fucking family moral somewhere. In this country, there has to be somewhere.
But why is that not the moral?
And there's an age. And at some ages, there's some shit that they should not be exposed to.
Wait.
They shouldn't even think about that shit.
Will you drink a beer or anything in front of your...
No.
You won't drink in front of your...
No.
Yeah.
No. Then when you're 16, you're at the club with your fucking stupid girlfriends, drinking wine, talking about how your 16-year-old sucking dick, and with drinking. Yeah. That's how it starts. With the stupidity.
That's true.
That's how it starts.
Did your parents
the stupidity.
Drink?
His dad did.
My dad did.
His dad did, but his mom is by the book.
Yeah, my mom is. I've seen.
Listen, I love what you're talking about here and stuff, Celia. But
no, I know.
And I saw families that were Catholic as fuck. That I used to go to their house and eat Italian food. And nobody would curse. And then drugs started coming on the scene, and 2 of the kids died. This isn't my point. I also saw people that grew up with kids that didn't do drugs, but the parents played cards. And on the weekends, they play cards and drink. And we would go to their houses, and because the parents went out and drank, he would have parties at his house. Today, that kid's a fucking boozer.
Yeah.
Is it because... So... For me, what was the cause of that boozing? That his parents weren't home. They were out fucking around.
But yes.
Marching, fucking around.
But that's...
Fucking around.
Absolutely.
And then you get mad. What is my daughter and what is my son doing? So, in my world, I saw it from a lot of different perspectives. I'm 54. I don't even like to talk about what I'm going to teach her because I'm alive today. And I get to spend time with her and sit with her. Listen, man, I was exposed to things at young ages I never should have been exposed to. I never should have been exposed. As simple as marijuana.
That sounds like it.
Never should have been exposed. I still love that I shot a gun. In those days, there was a thing called the PAL, the Police Athletic League.
Yeah.
And after school, if your parents didn't have enough money, you signed up and you went to the Police Athletic League. They took everybody because they had a pool table. They fucking sharpened guns. They taught you how to clean guns.
Sharpened guns?
They taught you you serve lunches to homeless people. It was a fucking adventure then. This was before this way of, we're all looking for a better fucking America. If you take your child to these schools in Malibu and whatever, before I even had a child, I would go to barbecues at my friend's house and they would talk about how they had to pull their kids out of Malibu High. Because of the amount of...
drugs.
Drugs.
Yeah.
They tried to put them in a private school and they had more drugs.
Yeah, the more money, the more drugs,
The more money, the more drugs.
Totally.
So I'm sitting here going right now I'm sitting here going, where do I move this child? But on the other hand, I want you to know something, Celia. What's up, brother?
But I grew up in one of the nicest, towns in the state where I grew up. But even where I grew up, it used to be called Drinking Drugsbury. That my high school. There's been drugs at high school forever.
And you didn't do drugs?
Not until I was like 16 or 17 now, and I barely did smoke the weed. And I took my first edible, one of those
like 5 minutes ago.
homemade brownies.
See, but this is my point. It's everywhere, Joey. Like you can't get away with it. So that's where I get to like if we're sheltering them, like you're gonna see it on TV, and now they have screens, and they're all there's YouTube. Like they're gonna get into it. So isn't it better now if we introduce it to them as kids?
I think my question is because I've seen CNN's done some pretty interesting shows.
Really interesting.
On this subject. Mm-hmm. And I think one of the parents had a dispensary near or in their house or something to that effect, and they got their kids taken away from them, if I'm not mistaken.
Probably. Well, so I don't know. No. Unless the kid got into it, they shouldn't have gotten them taken away for that. Or unless it was illegal. Was it an illegal operation?
I haven't done the research, but I'll look it up and see if I can find it. But my question is, like, do you worry now that it's gone a little viral, and you say how open you are with it? Because even though I'm
losing my kids, you mean?
Well, do you even not full time, but like they could contest it, or maybe your ex-husband? I'm not sure what. Like I don't know what.
No, because my kids aren't. I mean, it's the same as having alcohol. It's a legal state, and I have a card, and it's locked up. From them, they don't have access to it, and so actually it's not a child protective issue, and so CPS wouldn't have a case unless I was getting them high or I was getting so stoned that I couldn't parent. But that's what I'm saying. I don't do that. I microdose to control anxiety. I use it like it's medication, and I don't hide that from my kids.
Okay,
if that makes sense. Not that I never get high. I certainly will, but my kids are not home when I do that. How's that? And they don't know that part. Like I don't say sometimes mommy gets so high that she needs to go to bed. Like I don't say that.
I really like what you wrote about the menopause piece, and I like that you're getting grief. I turn you on to a different doctor to go down there and talk about this shit. About the causes. I mean,
yeah, it helps. It helps menopause. It helps PPD. It helps PMS.
I don't know. I've been, like I told you, Celia, I grew up in a drug environment.
I know. It's a different story.
No. I bought weed when I was young. I love weed. I'll sit here across from you on the microphone on a Bible, and I love marijuana, and I got to look you in the eye and tell you that I don't know how I feel about legalized marijuana till this day. I don't know how I feel. I feel a lot better than I did 5 years ago. I know that the CBD oil is helping millions. I know that I had a fucked up knee, and I bought some tremendous CBD spray, and I sprayed it on my fucking knee, and my knee feels great. I was waiting on the fucking Epsom salt you were going to bring me.
I know, I totally forgot
that. With the CBD, you slipped up and shit. I wanted to introduce it to the fucking world. You understand me? It's going to be that or acupuncture.
That's Empower Body Care.
That's Empower Body Care.
They're going to get you some.
Because I believe in a lot of that stuff. There's a lot of stuff. There's a lot of mysticism and shit that I don't buy into still, even though.
Wait, what do you mean mysticism?
There's a level
You're
of
seeing like a shaman with weed?
No. I'm so sorry. There's a level of this whole movement that I don't dig.
Oh yeah.
That people think I dig, and I really don't dig because I don't really give a fuck.
Which
like I don't really give a fuck. You understand me?
Sure.
You got the wrong guy.
Which part?
Just the whole jumping up and down. Like I don't like weed festivals. I don't. I think it's a privilege.
Yeah.
I think let's take it and run with it. Shut our fucking mouths. Why be John Gotti and rub it in people's faces?